So my name is Moses, and this is my story. I lost my dad 14 years ago. I was 13 when I lost my dad, and that was just the beginning of the whole thing for me. Even before I lost my dad, I was abused when I was at the age of 8. I was abused by a neighbor in my compound, and that introduced me to sex and masturbation when I was 8 years old, because I already had the feelings of how sex looked like and how sweet is sex. So then I do a lot of masturbation then because of the abuse then. But later on I realized that masturbation was not it for me. That was when I gained admission to university. So my urge for sex really get very high. So I was playing around with a lot of girls then, not once, not twice. Sometimes I get to have sex with it's more than 3 girls in a day, sometimes 2 girls in a day, because of my urge for sex. And that was not the only thing for me. I was also doing drugs and drinking. The only thing I did not do was to smoke, because then, and the reason why I didn't smoke was because of my health, because I realized that if I smoke, it might have serious negative impact on me. So that was the reason why I didn't smoke. So I was only doing drugs and drinking. They have terrible friends. I have bad friends. I have caught guys as friends, and I had terrible guys that are doing crazy things. But I was still following them, doing so crazy things with them and everything. And that day I can never forget was the day I did my birthday, May 9, 2012. I did my birthday, and the try what we did that day was that we got something, a seed that's called gigemo, and we blend it. So all the ladies that we invited for that birthday party, we injected every drink in that birthday party, and we give it to them to drink, and the whole thing was just messed up. And saw a lady literally going stark naked in the party, and that really touched me. And I felt that why should I even do this in the first place? I said that was not enough, and that was not even the end for me, because I still continued with the terrible life I was living. I was carrying a lot of girls, I was drinking, I was taking drugs, taking codeine, taking tramadols, and all several things. And this also brings me back on what happened while in church, where I used to attend then. So I was instrumental in church. I played drums in church, and with that, and one of the reasons why I actually learned to play drums was because I wanted to use it to attract girls to me, and it worked. So I have a lot of girls then that comes to me that time. And the funniest part is that even if we want to have this sex, we even do some of this sex in church sometimes. In church, yes. I know this sounds really crazy. I remember what happened when I went for church for rehearsal. Then I got to church that day. I was the late one. Then the other lady that came in, that was part of the chorister. We literally had a sex in my pastor's office. This was the crazy stuff I was doing then. I was really bad, because I was doing some crazy things. That's some really crazy things, because while in church, I learned instrument because I wanted to use it to attract ladies to myself. And I learned how to play drums, and lo and behold, the plan worked. So then, majority of the girls in my church then were attracted to me because I was an instrumentalist, and with that I was doing some crazy stuff with some of the choir members then in church, and even as far as having sex in my pastor's office and in church and crazy stuff like that. And the point is this for me. After doing some of those things, I didn't used to feel any remorse for what I've done. Even after engaging in that kind of heart, I just feel it's just a normal way of life, and just feel it's just normal way for me to just live life. Then after that, I started having this pain on my chest. It was really serious. It was really, really serious. So I had to go and see a cardiologist for checkup. And seeing the cardiologist, he examined me and check out my body, and so he said my artery is blocked. That he sensed that my artery is blocked. That we need me to go and do an MRI scan or a CT scan to be sure of what's really, really wrong with me. So I said, okay, I was going to do the MRI scan. But he said it's going to cost about 200 plus to do the MRI scan just to check what's really wrong. So I said, look at this money is much. Where do I want to get 200K from? And if I'm actually diagnosed with this, that means if I want to do the surgery, I've been needing nothing less than 10 million naira to do this surgery. And where do I want to get this kind of money from to do a surgery for heart surgery and everything like that? So I became really depressed, I became really down. And so this started getting to me. Coupled with the fact that I stopped going to church 3 years back because I had issues with pastors, and the fact that a few pastors are rogues and they are just in church to come and make money and everything like that. I had serious issues with them, and I was a strong follower of Freeze. I was really following him then, and then my mom felt really bad. She felt really bad that, okay, your dad have died over 14 years ago and I've been the only one for you guys. Is this what you want to do to pay me for everything, for the sacrifice I've made for you guys? And that really gets to me. And during those times of me battling with this sickness, I was at home, I didn't go anywhere, I was just indoor, I didn't go anywhere. And I fell into depression because I felt that, let's say I'm going to do surgery. Where am I going to get this money from? That means that is literally the end of my life. So every dream I've had, every belief, everything I've been planning to do in my life, that just be the end of it. So I felt that, okay, now at this point, if this was going to happen, let me just take my life and just end it here. Since I already been diagnosed blockage of artery and getting money to do MRI scan, going for surgery and everything, where do I get that kind of money from? Let me just end my life and rest in peace. But going forward, I never knew my brother was praying for me. All this time, he was really praying for me. So I came down to Fadi to see my brother, and he invited me to his church, and I went to his church and I saw Pastor Gideon, and I've met him before while in school in 2012 when I had a program in church. I met him, and that was my first encounter with him in 2012. And seeing him again was really a good thing. Like, this guy, I like this man. So then I was in that service, and I realized that if only you can just believe and understand that I'm the whole I'm the whole in whole, I'm going to heal you of the sickness. And I believed that okay, yes, I'm going to give my life to Christ at this point. I gave my life to Christ then in July. I've given my life to Christ before, but I can't say the kind of giving life to Christ thing, because I give my life to Christ almost every day that I commit terrible things. So it was not intention. I was just a normal giving life to Christ thing. But that last year was the genuine one I did. And ever since then, like, I think about 3 or 4 weeks later after I gave my life to Christ, the pain stopped. I stopped feeling the pain in my chest, and I stopped feeling anything on my chest. Then I went back to go and see the doctor, and he examined me again, and he said that he's not noticing anything again, that he feels that I think I'm okay, that I'm very, very fine. So, so that dawned on me that, see, that means I've been wasting my life all this while. I've been living a negative life only in the name of trying to live, in the name of peer pressure. Because some of the things I was doing then was not because I wanted to do those things. Was because I had friends that were doing some of those things, and I got engaged in those things, and having in the mind I was living life. I can also say some certain things right now because I can't remember some of the things I've done in the past. But with these few things I've said, I hope this will be able to encourage you to understand that there is more to life than the kind of life that you are living. There's more to life than you taking drugs. There's more to life than you smoking. There's more to life than you being an alcoholic. There's more to life than having multiple sex partner. There's more to life than that. There's greater things you can do with your life that is beyond those things. So I feel with this story, I feel this should be able to encourage you to understand that it's better off when you live life in Christ and understand that you carry destiny, that His word is waiting for to manifest in you. But if you're not sick because of the kind of life you're enjoying right now, you now allow this to cut short your destiny. What are you going to tell God when you get to heaven? When God starts showing you the things that you ought to have become, just because of the kind of life you are living, you choose to sabotage your destiny because of that. So I really want to encourage you to just believe and understand that there's no life in what you're doing right now. the best life you can ever find yourself is living your life in Christ. And that's my story.